Hey, I'm Avalaura.
And I'm Jessica.
And this is Black Leave America podcast, where we highlight holistic wellness, travel, mental health, and self-care through traveling outside of America to reconnect and rediscover who you are. It's time for us to leave any condition that disrupts our peace. Black Women Leave America opens your eyes and explores new ways of living, but more importantly, new ways of being. Because sometimes you have to leave in order to find yourself. Sometimes you have to leave in order to find yourself. This is Black Women Leave America podcast, and welcome to another edition. We are so excited. We have another amazing guest, y'all. Like, these women are just dopeness personified. So welcome Miss Danielle Washington. She is the CEO and founder of Rogue Experiences, a thriving travel concierge that teaches busy women of color how to ditch the norm, discover their lives that they are meant to lead, and through an unforgettable travel experience. And so we're going to be talking all about her travel experiences, how she came up with this concept and everything and more now. So Danielle, just tell our listeners and our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Hello. I am Danielle Washington. I am from the Bay Area. So I always tell people, at least I warn people that you'll hear hella because I say it all the time. Travel has been all of my life. I have been traveling. My first flight was at 3 months.
Wow.
And it's funny, this year I was like, I've gone nowhere. And I'm like, wait, I've gone to 12 countries. So I know. I need to work on that.
It's all about perspective, y'all.
It is perspective. I was like,
Yeah, right? Like only 12?
Only 12. But, I ditched my job, my corporate job, and I kind of found myself in a situation where I was realizing as a woman of color, we're always going and doing for everyone else but ourselves. And I just wanted to find a way to help women push pause just for a minute, to breathe, take care of themselves, have some fun, enjoy another country. And I did it through this company called Rogue Experiences. So it's a mix of travel and wellness.
I love it. And Jessica knows I'm all about that life. That is what I'm about. But I just want to go back a little bit. You said you quit your good corporate job, right? Those corporate jobs. So what led up to that decision that you decided that, you know what, I'm done with this. I don't want to work here anymore. I'm just going to ditch it and travel.
It's funny. I did it twice. I've done it twice in my life. The first time was to move out of the country. The second time, I was in an amazing job that paid me well, and I traveled for free internationally at this job. And it wasn't so bad, but it was just it wasn't enough. I felt like I wasn't giving back to my community. I wasn't growing as a person. And it was just, something just said jump. I had no game plan because originally when I started my company, I didn't have an idea. Someone said, start a blog. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can do a blog. You can make money from blogging. No, you can't make money from blogging. But my gut just told me just jump, and it's been the best experience I've ever done in my life.
Wow. Just jump. And that's one of the things that, we're learning from just traveling, is that it's a lot of jumping involved, right? Because you don't know what situation you're going to end up in. Can you talk a little bit about that? What are some of the things that you've learned from leaving America and traveling all over the world?
I have developed who I am as a person. I always tell people I would not be who I am today if it wasn't for travel. If I didn't leave and live outside the country, I would not have this business. I think before moving to another country and living in Italy, I was at typical America. I'm like, I don't eat that. I don't do that. No, I don't go there. It needs to be hella Americanized. And then you go to somewhere like Italy, and you're traveling in different parts, and you're like, I think they just ordered horse for me. I think that's the only word I know on the menu. Okay. I'm just going to roll with this. And you
said horse, right? I just want to make sure I heard.
Yes, horse. Okay. I was at a group dinner at this place I was staying. They invited me, and so I'm the only American, and they're all ordering it family style. And was in the country probably about 2 months at that time, 2 or 3 months. And only what I knew that they said for sure was horse. I was like, cavallo. I'm like, I know what cavallo. I'm like, I'm like, mental note, write down everything they said, look it up in the dictionary, see what I ate. And it was one of the best meals I've ever had. But again,
Wow.
had I not been open, and that's what I think travel teaches you, how to be open. You know, everything is an experience. Your mistakes are life lessons. You learn to be more patient. You learn to be flexible. And travel has literally changed my entire life.
I love that. She ate horse, y'all, and is unapologetic about it and said it was the best meal. See, that's one of those, just feed me, don't tell me what it is. Just let me eat it.
Yeah, it was horse, sea urchin. I think those were the random things. I was just like, okay, I got it. Oh, wow.
What are some of the things that you've learned about yourself?
About myself, I would say I definitely wasn't patient before traveling at all.
Hold on, we need to pause. Sorry, I apologize. My kid. I need for you to go in there. Thank you. Okay, we're good. So let's ask the question again. Start it again, because I'll need to edit that part out when she put her finger in the camera. All right.
So what are some of the things that you've learned about yourself?
So I've learned patience. I learned that I wasn't the most patient person prior to travel. I've learned that I'm hella resourceful, because if there's a will, there's a way, and I will figure it out. I don't need a plan. I'm a Virgo. Total type A Virgo, want to have everything all organized. Through travel, I've learned like the best way to travel is often to just get lost and just explore. And it guided me as a person to explore not just cultures and different places, but it's also got me to explore within. I went to Bali earlier this year, and that's literally why I went. And I spent about 3 to 4 months offline, away from everything, and just going within and going to different places. It was my version of Eat, Pray, Love. I found the love of myself. Didn't eat the best food, but I did meditate and discovered yoga, and it just, again, has propelled me to where I want to be for 2020 and further.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And what would you say is one of the biggest lessons? Because you said a lot of different things, but what would you say is like one of the biggest lessons that you've learned?
The biggest lesson I've learned about travel, I would say, have faith that it's going to work out. I know we talked earlier about jumping, but literally travel, you just don't know what's going to happen. You know, no trip has been perfect. But having faith that, okay, if I go down this alley, maybe it'll lead me to something great, or lead me to a story. One way it'll lead me to something, but I have faith that this alley is going to do something for me.
I love that. Because a lot of the, like you said, type A, I'm a type A. We're all type A's. Most of us watching are type A's. And so we need a reminder of that daily, just to be able to let go and know that everything is going to work out. It doesn't have to be perfect. We can do as much as we can, but ultimately it's going to work itself out.
Yeah. And it's a story one way or another. It's funny. I always tell people, when I was living in Italy, so I lived in Italy, and I was living in Rome at the time, and I was by myself. I had no one else. I didn't know anyone, and I wanted to go out. I love clubbing. I love being out and about. And so I said, blanket, I'm going to go out, and I listened to this text. I was going to this one spot. The place I was going to go, the taxi driver was driving me, and the place was closed. And the driver's like, well, I know this spot. And I'm like, and I trusted this guy to take me to where I thought would be a great spot. Long story short, it was like some kind of sex trafficking thing. Woo, woo, woo. Right. Woo, woo, woo. Jumped out the car at one point in the story, because it's a longer story. Thank God right after that.
Wait a minute. We're going to have that whole story. I don't know if we need to have you back, or if you can do it now.
Long story. But intuition told me, and that's the other thing. I think one thing I've definitely learned about travel, trust your intuition. Yes. My intuition at one point said, stop trying to be cool. Like, I got this. I'm good. I'm like, I know everything. And I was like, no, run now, run. So I'm here today.
Living proof of listening to your intuition.
Yes.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's such an amazing story. Like I said, I would love to hear the rest of it. But
And you know what's so funny is when you said that, I was thinking like, oh wow, she was able to trust him. That's awesome, because so many people end up in these sex trafficking, and then
she said it.
For the record, I've trusted many other people.
Wow.
I've trusted many other people. I've had amazing experiences meeting locals. My gut told me when he was like, just from the get-go, don't trust him. But I didn't listen to it because I was trying to be that, oh, I'm now more of a local. I'm not this American. I know the language to a good degree at the time. I got this. And I was trying to be like tough. And then it got to the point where I was like, nope, ditch being tough. Save your life, girl.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that.
But I think that kind of speaks to the whole the narrative of being the strong Black women as well, right? Even if we're not in America, we still are trying to portray that strong Black women wherever we go, right? It's kind of like, nope, I got this. Can't nobody mess with me. You know.
Exactly.
And then you're like, wait a minute, this isn't right.
Something ain't right.
Yeah, alarms are going off, right? Like, yeah, no, let me get out of there. Let me get my butt the hell out of here.
Wow, that is awesome. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Hey y'all, welcome back to Black Women Leave America podcast. We're back with our phenomenal guest, Ms. Danielle Washington. And she was just telling us how her intuition saved her life, okay? Literally. One of the many life lessons that she has learned through travel. So, you know, what I want to know is, like, what is one of your favorite places? You've been to a lot, only 12. You've been to a lot of different places. Like, what was your favorite place?
Only 12 this year.
Avalaura, take notes, Avalaura.
No, it's funny. People ask me this question all the time. And one of the things I always tell people is travel is like art. It's in the eye of the beholder. And one piece of art you may be loving, just like music, you love, love, love that favorite song, and then it switches. So right now, I would say, what am I loving? My heart is always in Cuba. Cuba stole my heart 4 years ago, and I go back every year. There's just this vibe. I love Cuba. To live, I love Portugal and Florence. I would say Bali and Cartagena are other places that I also am kind of like loving. In South Africa. South Africa, Cuba. Yeah, I can't choose. I'm sorry. Did I also say I'm indecisive about my travel? Literally.
But I think the fact that you love travel comes out. It comes out in you, and you can see how passionate you are about just traveling to all the different places. And we talked about this a little bit. I think we've touched on it, but I really want to hear from you. What actually propelled you to say, okay, I'm leaving? Like you said, you jumped, but like, was there a certain thing that happened or an experience, or you saw something on television or anything that just said, okay, I'm leaving, I'm out of here?
So when I moved out of the country, I'll give the backstory a little bit more. So what happened? So I had friends who are part Italian and Korean, and they'd already graduated from high school and college. And then they ended up doing this 3 months through a community college to live in Florence. And they're like, hey, come visit. And I'm like, oh my God, sure, why not? It'll be my first real trip out of the country by myself without my parents. And so I did that, fell in love with it. And there was this experience. I was in Florence and I'm in a piazza and I'm walking to kind of get back to where they are. And then if you know anything about piazzas in Italy, they all have different streets to get out. So it's like 5 or 6 different streets to get out. So I take one street to get out and I end up back where I was. I'm just like, how do you get back here? I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go the other street. I do it again and end up back in the piazza. I do this a couple of times and I don't know, call it whatever. There was an experience or feeling that I had physically been here before, not just right then, but like in another life or whatever. Like something told me, you have to be here. Like this is where you're meant to be. And so I decided from that point on, I'm moving to Italy. It's going to be amazing. Woo, woo, woo. I say woo, woo all the time. Watch too much Living Single. And 9/11 happened, which also happened to be my birthday.
Wow.
So, because I was planning on moving, that was 2001. I was planning on moving and 9/11 happens, and I was like, well, there goes my dream to move to Italy, which is going to maybe move to New York instead. And I remember seeing an ex-boyfriend's father at the gym, and mind you, I really hated this man, and it was mutual. We didn't like each other. Keeping it real. Like, oh, and like, I'm like, yeah, I was going to move to Italy, but you know, I got to move to New York, whatever. And he's like, well, that sounds like you're not going to Italy out of fear. And I was like, why is this man right? He's right. I'm not moving to Italy out of fear. And I was like, it's time to just jump away from that fear and just go. And so I planned for a year. I had family, friends, I had neighbors who were coming up to me like, you know, you're in the middle of your career, you want to have a baby, like it's the, you know, why would you move right now? Then you have those friends who are like, yeah, girl, that sounds good, but are you sure? You know, it's like they were low key trying to get me not to do it. And I don't know why I didn't listen to anyone, but I was like, this is my dream. This is where that in that piazza, I knew I was meant to be. So I'm doing it. And it was like on the plane, I was like, I don't know anyone. I don't know the language. What am I doing? Jumping on a plane because I'm already on the plane to Rome. And it was the best experience I've had in my entire life.
I love it. I love it. Would you recommend that other Black women leave America?
Yes. Yes.
Even unapologetically.
Unapologetically. Yes. I'm like, yes.
I think that goes along with her commercial earlier. So yeah.
Yes. I definitely do. I think there's something about getting out of your comfort zone. There's something about and I say America is our comfort zone. Everyone speaks the same language. We have the same cultural norms. There's something that you learn not just about yourself, but just about the world and when you become a global citizen, something changes you. So I highly, highly, highly encourage it. And I encourage living out of the country. It's great to go for a couple of weeks or a couple of days, but when you're there for months at a time, it's just something different.
I love the fact that you said global citizen. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah, those are things we don't think about as Americans because we kind of, you know, we talk about white privilege, but we have like an American privilege complex, no matter what color we are. So Black America, we have that privilege too. And I think it's different when, like you said, you've traveled and you've experienced that, you start to recognize the ways that you are privileged.
Definitely. It's like, especially going to places like Cuba when, you know, I'm talking to people who are like, oh, do you have some extra hair products? Because it's so hard to find. Or feminine products, just basic tampons, is because it's rationed out. What things that we can just go to Walmart, CVS, whatever, and buy, that's difficult for them to find. And that's recognizing what's, you know, those privileges and how we can help and help other people in other countries is also part of what I do. So, yeah.
I love it. What advice would you have for women? Like, let's say, you know, somebody says, I'm trying to ditch my corporate job, you know, I'm trying to, you know, ditch it all behind and start over and go somewhere. What advice would you have for them to get started?
I would say plan. Planning is key in making sure you have the right money, the visa. Like for me, I had to have a certain amount of money to get a visa to live in Italy. So making sure you're planning how you're going to do that. If you're trying to work, like I was trying to work illegally, that didn't work out so well. So luckily, again, I had the money to survive because I had planned in advance. The most important thing that you need is the right mindset, because people are going to try to talk you out of it. And being secure in your reasoning and why you're doing this will help you in making this a reality.
Love it. And on that note, we're going to take another commercial break and we'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. We have gotten some phenomenal information from Danielle. I mean, I'm just, you know, one of the things about this, and I'm sure Jessica can say this as well, we're learning just as much from our guests as I'm sure that you are as well. You know, Jessica, what's something you've learned?
Do not get in some taxi driver's car and expect for him to take me to a club. That's for sure.
He took me to the club. He just took me to another club afterwards.
Oh. Got it. Yeah. But I think the biggest is I'm joking, you know, because now I'm sure you're far past that, so I can joke on it. Not to be insensitive or anything. So I hope you didn't take it that way.
No,
But
I'm good. Don't.
okay.
I
But
laugh about it now.
yeah, exactly. Now it's past, right? But really to, like you said, just understand your tuition and listen to your intuition. And I think that whether you leave America or you're still in America, just listening to your intuition, if it's telling you to leave, or if it's telling you that you should be somewhere else. And that doesn't necessarily mean leave America, but maybe you need to leave a situation or you need to leave an environment. So just to really take that time and really dig in and understand what you need and follow up with what you need. So Avalaura, I will ask you the same. What are you learning from all of this?
So much. You know, but I love what you said too about being a global citizen and just your mindset. You know, I'm all about mindset. As a life coach, I'm all about when I'm working with my clients, and in order to heal, a lot of that you have to shift the way that you think and the things that you believe. And it requires really unearthing, right, what it is that you do believe, because a lot of times we don't even think about what we believe. We just accept it as truth. And I think what I'm hearing from you and what I've been hearing from our other guests is that you start to really call into question a lot of the things that you believe. When you're traveling and you're out there in this new environment, out of your comfort zone, it really forces you to re-examine your beliefs and how you've been living your life and what's important to you, your priorities, all of that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because part of what I do with my like small intimate trips is when you're traveling, you're away from the noise of your daily life. And I think it's one of the best times for you really to kind of work on you. And that's why I actually try to add in the wellness aspect to my trips, because that gives you that opportunity to not have the noise around you, to really think and focus in on you and really focus in on what you need and what you want in life. So I think that's where travel is so great in helping with that mindset and kind of pushing you to that next level, if that's what you choose to do.
Well, I love it. You know, these have been amazing, and I can't wait for more women to come on and tell us their stories. But Danielle, where can we find you? Where can we find everything about your travel company, all that good stuff? Tell us all of your links and all of your handles.
So you can find me at Rogue Experiences. I am Rogue Experiences, so it's double E's in the middle, so it's Rogue and then Experiences with an S. On Facebook, Instagram. Also, we have a private Facebook group called Women of Color Travel Therapy. So it's all about travel therapy, having fun on Facebook as well. And then rogueexperiences.com. Yeah.
I love that. Travel therapy is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check that out.
Travel is my therapy. I'm actually writing a book that's going to be released most likely in January, and it's really called Travel is My Therapy.
Oh, that is super cute. Oh, I love it. Branded, girl. Love it. So Danielle, thank you so much for coming on Black Women Leave America's podcast. Thank you guys for listening. All of you that are listening in, make sure that you check out the group and you also go ahead and visit her website as well. And if you're listening and you are a Black woman that has left America and you have a story to tell, you'd like to share with us, go to blackwomenleaveamerica.com and let us know. Share your story with us. We definitely would love to hear your story and have you on the podcast. Make sure you subscribe, you share this podcast out, all that good stuff. And we want to hear from you. What are some of the things you would like us to discuss on this podcast? We definitely want to hear from you. So you can hit us up on Facebook at Black Women Leave America on Facebook, as well as on Instagram. Thank you so much for coming on, Danielle.
Thank you for having me. You guys are amazing. I love what you're doing. So continue spreading the word because more of us need to travel.
Thank you.